What is going on, YouTube family? Welcome back to another episode of Pips and Points. I'm your host, Jono, and today we're going to be talking about what we always talk about, which is the NAS100. Now, before I get into that, I want to say a big special shout out to all my subscribers. Those are my Piptonites guys. You are the best. You are the absolute best, right? And I want to thank you for your support and your continued support of what it is that I'm doing here, sharing with you my journey as I navigate the NAS100. Okay, I definitely appreciate that. And I also want to give a special shout out to all the new guys that have stumbled across this video for the first time. Guys, welcome to Pits and Points. On this channel, we mainly talk about the NAS100. Sometimes we talk about other currency pairs as well, but for the most part, we talk about the NAS100. Now, as I share my technical analysis with you guys in regards to the NAS100, it is important that you just do not take my word for it. You do your own homework, you do your own research. I do make mistakes, and above all, I am not a financial advisor, and I'm not giving you guys financial advice. I am simply sharing with you my journey as to how I navigate the NAS100. And in doing so, sometimes you may see something that I may share with you that you haven't noticed in your own technical analysis, at which point obviously it just helps to reinforce that. So I'm not masquerading as I've got it all figured out. I clearly don't have it figured out, but I am learning. I'm learning off YouTube, I'm learning off other people's channels that do this type of stuff that we're doing right here, and I'm also teaching myself, hitting the books, taking up courses, all the rest of them. Although I'm not doing much of that now because I wouldn't say I've done it all, but I've done a fair bit of it. I have a decent grounding as to how I move around this space, right? But if you're new to this whole space, you're thinking of how you can obviously trade the markets, then upping your education is not a bad thing to do. And coming onto a channel like this, it definitely will help you in the long run, right? So, and once again, I am not a financial advisor and I'm not giving you financial advice, okay? If you haven't done so already, subscribe, become a pip tonight, turn on the notifications, so whenever I release a video, you're one of the first to get it. So now that I've done it for all of that side of things, let's get right into it, all right? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to turn on all the work we did last week, right? And this is what we have going on in regards to where I think the market is going to go and where the market is now, right? So this little sell that we put on a few days ago, well, last week actually, is doing well. So we're in a decent amount of profit right now. And this is the daily chart. Market has broken a daily low. So this is this daily low right here, right? It's broken that. This was a daily low that was set on the 4th of October 2021. That's it right here. So it's gone through that daily low, right? And it's now almost getting to a high that was set on the 2nd of March 2022, right? Now at this level, it could bounce and push upwards, all right? But I believe that this is going to complete a head and shoulders, right? So it's in the process of completing the final inverted head and shoulder. So it's in the final stage of it now, and we already have the shape for the inverted shoulder, so it's ready here, right? So it's just a question of where is it going to settle to push to the upside. So this was my thinking in regards to that. So my thinking was this, right? So if you watched the last video I did, and that video will have a little box at the end of this video, so you have a little box around this area, so you can click on that and go and watch that video again. However, I'm just going to redraw what I did. So this was the inverted head and shoulders that we got, right? Inverted head and shoulders, right? Okay, and I think, so I'm just going to rechange this a bit, give it, so first we're going to make this here like that, we're going to make this a little bit thicker, all right? So I think the final leg of the inverted shoulder will be around this area, but however, I could be wrong. It could be up here, or it could be down here, or it might even come even lower, at which point it won't really be a head and shoulders. But we're just trying to figure out what the market's going to do before it does it, and then obviously it will help us make the best decisions. So as it stands right now, if you're in a sell right now, there was possible areas where you could have got in for a sell. Possible areas you could have got in for a sell, and this was last week, right? So last week you saw that you saw this move and you jumped in when I put in this this sell order. So you saw this move and then you jumped in last week. That was first opportunity. Second opportunity was this one right here, right? When it went into a range, and that was in the last video. So in the last video that I did on Thursday, I was like, okay, it's going to be ranging, and it might range for a little while and then break downwards, okay? But however, what happened was on the Friday, so Friday I didn't make a video, but however, I was still actively watching the market. I saw when the market pulled up, right? So I saw when market pulled up. So when it first opened up, it didn't open up with this major red. It opened up around here somewhere, and then it pushed all the way up, and then it started to make its way down. When it got to around this level, that's when I did the market buy and I jumped in, right? And the exact level I jumped in on was 14,579.04. So this is mark this out on the chart. 50. Actually, let me just do it this way. Coordinates, like, so that will give you a better idea as to where exactly I got in, and then you can tell me if it was a good move or a bad move. I mean, I'm sitting in profit right now, even with the overnight fees, and I've actually brought in a trading stop, and I'll tell you about that. Okay, so I got in about here. I did the market buy straight in, right? Straight in. And I locked in, well, not a market buy, a market sell, sorry. Let's get that right. So yeah, so I did a market sell and I got in straight in at this level right here. Oh mate, it's just annoying when it does things like this, when it really annoys me when it just, okay, segregated back, lock. Now I should be able to pick this up. Oh mate, this is so bloody jarring. Just bear me a moment. Just bear me one moment. Bear me one moment. Okay. Let's lock this back in place. It still doesn't pick it up. All right, cool. This is just. Let me just drag this down to here about somewhere so I can grab this later. Alright, let's make this thicker. So this is where I sold from. So I'm actually selling from this level, right? So I'm not this level here, I'm not in the trade. I'm only in the trade from down here, right? I'm only in the trade from down here. So I'm actually in the trade right now. It's running down and I'm expecting it, if it doesn't bounce from this level, right? So if it doesn't bounce from so if it doesn't bounce from 14,280.80, all right, then I'm expecting it to push down to 1373.2.80, right? And if it still doesn't push up from that level, then it's gonna go down to these two, so which are the daily lows of, so the first one being 13,008.23 and the last being 12,318.29, right? But however, I'm thinking it's gonna bounce from this level. Now this level right here, if it does bounce at this level, this is where I will most likely be reversing my current trade that I've got in at the moment into a buy, and I'll be aiming to be riding it up to the upside. And the key areas that I'll be looking for, because I didn't actually mention it in the other video, is first off, I need it to produce a higher high. So if you produce a lower high, that's a good sign for me and I'm happy with that. But I will also be looking for it to produce a higher high, and most importantly, I would want it to break above these high levels as well. So these highs, this one right here and this one right here. And why am I so confident and willing to put in a buy order around this level or around this level? Well, basically it's because I think the structure is about to break. So this structure that we have right here right now, I think it's literally about to break, and this is the signal that I'm going off of. So this signal right here is what I'm going off of. Now, if you're new, you'd be like, okay, so if you think the market is going to be going up, why am I selling? because I am selling the retracement back down. I am selling the retracement back down, then I'm going to reverse my position and take the long position, because I know that's where market really wants to go. But why am I sitting here making videos on potential market move to the upside and then watch it come down? And bearing in mind, I have missed out on some pips. So on Friday when I was watching, I was like, you know what? Why am I just sitting there just missing out on pips? Like, let me just get involved. I mean, I know exactly where the thing is going to go once it produces a certain type of shape. And this was the shape that it produced, the structure that it produced. And I was like, you know what? I'm involved. This was the structure that he produced. And I said to myself, you know what? I'm 100% involved. So actually, I don't want to mess up the drawings on this one. So let's go to a new chart screen. Right, so this is it right here. So this was the structure that he produced, right? And I also mentioned this in the last video as well. And I also said that this was a deceiving resistance level, because this actually is not a high. It actually is a low, right? So it's a deceiving one. So when I saw this structure, I knew it was going to squeeze. I actually drew the little squiggly lines in here and I just pointed down like boom, it's going all the way down. And now look, what do we have here? What do we have that's happened so far? So let me just bring this down a bit. Let's get rid of this, right? And let's see what this is. So this is considered a high, not a low. So this area right here is considered a high, not a low, believe it or not. And this is considered a low, and this is considered another low. All right. So all I'm basically waiting for, just to confirm how much pushing down market has to do, is if when market opens in the next few hours, if it's going to push down below this one right here. If it pushes down below this one right here, then what I would do is I'll move my trailing stop from where it is, which is currently at 14.51.4.29, and I'll move it down to about this level, 14.381.40. But don't quote me on that. I might not even do that. I might wait for it to actually clear this whole area before I even bring in a trailing stop. So if I bring in a trailing stop, I want it to clear this area, right? And with that, my trailing stop will sit around this level. So let me just redo that again. So my trailing stop will most likely sit on 14.42.1.63. That will be a safe place for me to put in a trailing stop. Bearing in mind, we have a lot of action at this level right here, right? A lot of action at this level right here. And even with that trailing stop, I will still be in a risk because of this liquidity grab over here. So I'll zoom in closer so you can see what I'm talking about. This is on the hourly. So this wick over here is a potential danger for my trailing stop, which I will put down here if market closes, or if market opens and closes below this level right here. So let me just do another one so it's a bit darker so you see what I mean. So I need market to close below this level, open and close below this level where I've drawn the blue. All right, and if that happens, what I would then do is then I would then move my trailing stop up here to avoid these wicks. But I will also have a little danger area over here because of this wick. So that's something I'll have to keep my eye on. And I don't want to push up my trailing stop any higher because it's just danger all the way through. To be fair, it's either bring it down, my trailing stop a bit down, where I don't mind if I get stopped out early, or I leave everything as it is, where the trailing stop is now, or I leave everything where it is, where the trailing stop is now, and then just hope it doesn't actually close me out when market pushes down, right? So we'll see. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. My main concern with this at the moment is this particular shape, right? Because this is something that could potentially happen. Is market again could go into another range again, right? It can do something like this before it pushes down. Now, if that happens, I will then need to readjust my trailing stop. I will need to readjust it. So if it does something like this, right, I would know at some point structure is going to break again, right? I would know at some point structure is going to break again. So where my trading stop is, and the trading stop is what, 1451. So where it is right now is I'm in the danger zone of right here, and this level right here, this level that we're looking at, right, is also an area of a lot of price action. It's a lot of price action in that area right there, right? So there's a good chance once it starts doing this kind of crazy going up and down as it does when it goes into range, is that price could 100% return back into the areas that I don't want it to go into, right? Because there's a lot of price action in this area, a lot of price action, and I would rather avoid it. So what I possibly might do, right? What I possibly might do, and this is a very high chance, is I'll bring my trading stop down, right? And I will basically wait to see what happens, see if I get shaken out or not. And if I see a structure like this emerging, I will then aim for another re-entry at the top level. So I will aim for another re-entry around here. So where I've just joined this blue little line, right? I will aim for re-entry around that level, and my stop will have to be a little bit meatier to cover all of this area right here, all the top wicks right here, and then hope for a push to the downside. That would be how I would potentially play the markets when markets open. But I'm just hoping, so what I'm actually hoping for is this, right? It's this. It's market opens, and rather than have all this stuff going on, right, rather than have another range appear, I just want market to do one thing, which is, let me zoom out, so just bear with me. Let's just use this as an example. I would just want market just to do this, boom, straight here. That's all I want market to do when market opens, right? And then from this level, we assess if we're going to jump in again for the ride to the upside. And we would have had two cool things that would tell us that yes, we can actually do that. First is we have a higher high in regards to this trend, right? And that will give us a lower high in regards to this trend, right? And we'll just ride it up and we'll see what we can get from it. And then we might get one final pullback. So let me go back to the original chart that we're just looking at. So you might get one final pullback, right? One final pullback at this level. Let's go to 4 hourly. One final pullback at around this level, and this is where I would load up the most, and I would just set and forget. And obviously we see what then we will see what happens. So at the moment, what we've got is we've got a current sell on right now, and we're just monitoring the situation, see how that goes. All right. So tomorrow, Monday evening, there's a good chance I might come in and make another video in regards to what I think the plays is going to be, and bearing in mind we'll be in a live market situation, and it won't be the weekend, it will be Monday obviously. So it will give us a better assessment as to what we can expect from the market in regards to what we want from it. And before I sign out, if you haven't done so already and you find the content useful, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification, and I appreciate you for doing that in advance. So thank you. And this is Jono signing out.